You walk into a crowded room, and something inside you immediately wants out. Not because you're shy, not because you're anxious, not because something is wrong with you. Your brain just read the room. And it said too much. Read that again. Your brain didn't fail. It assessed. These 6 points will assist you in understanding. Number 1, the sensory truth. Everyone calls it introversion, shyness, social anxiety. Some even call it weakness. But here's the truth. Hating crowds has nothing to do with fear. It has everything to do with your brain's processing power. Neuroscientists have found that people who feel overwhelmed in high-stimulation environments have a more reactive reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters incoming sensory data. Simply put, your brain takes in more. It processes deeper. It notices what others completely miss. You pick up on the tension in someone's voice before they say a word. You sense the shift in energy the moment something changes in a room. You feel everything at a higher resolution. That's not weakness. That's bandwidth. Most people are running on standard definition. You're running on 4K. And 4K takes more processing power. Let that sink in. But here's where it gets interesting. Because there's a second layer to this, and most people never find out about it. Brain number 2, the dopamine factor. Here's what nobody talks about. Everyone thinks people who hate crowds are low energy, antisocial, difficult. The truth? Your brain is chemically different. Research in neuroscience shows that introverted, crowd-sensitive individuals have a longer dopamine pathway. That means your brain gets stimulation from internal sources, thinking, ideas, deep conversation, creativity, rather than external noise. Are they extroverts? Their dopamine hits fast and easy. A party, a crowd, loud music. They feel alive. What about you? You need meaning to feel alive, not volume. Most extroverts aren't confident. They're just distracted. Think about that. Your brain doesn't chase cheap stimulation. It waits for something real. And that patience, that refusal to be satisfied with surface-level noise, is not a flaw. It's discernment. You weren't built for small talk. You were built for depth. And this is the part nobody talks about. Because right here, in the middle of everything you were told about yourself, is where the reframe happens. Number 3, the unexpected reframe. You spent your whole life thinking something was wrong with you. You've apologized for needing space. You forced yourself into rooms that drained you. You called yourself antisocial when really, you were just selective. Here's the reframe. Crowds don't drain you because you're broken. Crowds drain you because your nervous system is doing more work than most people's ever will. While others float on the surface of a social moment, laughing, performing, filling silence, your brain is analyzing, processing, feeling. You're not absent from the room. You're more present than anyone. It's like the difference between listening to music and studying every individual instrument in a symphony at the same time. Everyone else hears the song. You hear the layers. That's not antisocial. That's perceptual depth. Number 4, the overstimulation myth. Common belief. You get overwhelmed because you can't handle people. In reality, you get overwhelmed because your brain refuses to shut off. When you're in a crowd, your brain doesn't just process your experience. It processes everyone's. The anxious person in the corner, the forced laughter near the bar, the couple having a silent argument across the room. You feel all of it. Psychologists call this high sensitivity, a trait found in roughly 20% of the population across dozens of species. Not just humans. Highly sensitive individuals exist in nature because every group needs someone who sees more, feels more, notices more. You're the early warning system, the deep reader, the one who senses what's coming before it arrives. History's most impactful minds, artists, philosophers, scientists, most of them reported the same thing. They couldn't stand crowds. Not because they were fragile, because their signal-to-noise ratio was too high. The noise of a crowd drowned out the signal they lived for. You're not broken. You're built differently. But here's what all of this builds toward. Crown number 5, the power you've been misreading. Everyone thinks the loud person in the room is the powerful one, the one commanding attention, taking space, performing confidence. But think about who you remember after the room clears. Not the loudest person, the most real one, the one who sat quietly, but when they spoke, everyone leaned in, the one whose presence you felt, not just heard, the one who said one thing you couldn't stop thinking about for days. That's you. You don't demand energy. You hold it. People who hate crowds aren't hiding from the world. They're protecting their signal because they know, consciously or not, that if they pour themselves into every crowded, noisy, shallow interaction, they'll have nothing left for the things that actually matter. That's not avoidance. That's conservation of genius. Like a river that runs slow and deep versus one that runs fast and shallow. The deep one carves canyons. The shallow one just makes noise. Key number 6, identity upgrade. You were never meant to thrive in crowds. You were meant to create in the quiet, to think in the stillness, to connect in the depth of one real conversation worth more than 100 hollow ones. The world needs extroverts to move fast. It needs you to move right. Societies are built by the loud, but they're sustained by the people who think deeply, feel fully, and refuse to be satisfied with surface. You are not antisocial. You are highly social, just with a high standard. You don't want a room full of people. You want a room full of meaning. And that, right there, is the rarest thing in the world. If you've spent your life feeling like you were too much and not enough at the same time, too sensitive, too quiet, too in your head, you are not missing out. You are exactly where a mind like yours is supposed to be, going deeper while everyone else goes wider. You're not broken. You're built differently.